The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Friday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you, as always, by our good friends over. Hold on, my camera got a little bit knocked off. So, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day, and we do that, of course, by not only going over the night that was, previewing the games to come, but also showing the player profiles and coaches' corners and interviews that we get to feature on this show every single day. That trend continues today. It is going to be a player profile with champions ace in the circle, Gabby Gradishar, the Penn State commit. Her player profile will be featured on today's episode of Running Point, and it is perfect timing because Gabby Gradishar coming off of a perfect game last night and 2 home runs. So I don't know if you can have a better day than that, quite honestly. We had 2 perfect games last night. And with that segue, we're going to go right into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com, and we'll talk about it. Scoreboard brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. They are the reason why we're able to bring you this wonderful tool. The YSN Scoreboard is a great way to find your live updated scores of your favorite teams across the YSN family, whether you're watching one of our broadcasts or you're at one of the games in person. Either way, you don't want to look away from the action for too long, and the YSN Scoreboard is a great and easy way to get live updated scores on your favorite teams across the YSN family. The YSN Scoreboard can be found at ysnlive.com/scores, and it is presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Let's get into it. We see Austintown Fitch baseball continue their hot streak as they get the win over Columbiana, 7-3. The final score there. Garfield takes care of Struthers, 13-2. The final score in that one. Boardman holds off Lakeview, 4-3. The final score. The Spartans get the victory at home. A big win for that Boardman baseball team, looking to build momentum. That's a quality win against a very good Lakeview baseball team. Ashtabula St. John gets the win over Edgewood in an offensive show, 11-7. The final score there. We go over into Ashtabula County still, as Jefferson and Pymatuning Valley were unable to play last night, so we move into Middle Ridge and Springfield. Springfield getting the 10-0 shutout victory over the Rams. We go into Jackson Milton, who was able to beat Lowville 12-2. The final score there. Their bats were definitely alive and well as the Blue Jays scored 12 runs in that 10-run victory. Hubbard and Heartland Christian doing battle, and the Lions get the better of the Eagles, 6-3. The final score in that one. A big win for Heartland, playing a very hot Hubbard team, coming off that sweep of South Range. So a big win there for the Lions. Champion taking care of Brookfield. Final score there, 16-1. No harm done for Champion at all. They roll in that game. We go into South Range, falling to Girard 8-0. And this is a game that this continues the South Range woes this week. They have not had a great week on the baseball side of things. And when you look at this game, we'll hop into Game Changer, check out the stats, and see what went so right for Girard. 8-0 victory, and I'll tell you what, their starting pitcher, Jaden Royal, was a big reason why. Check out this line from Royal. 7 innings pitched. He went did it 97 pitches, so 7 innings. He only gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, and 3 walks on the day. So a big one for Girard there. He pitched really well. On the offensive side of things, Dom Phillips had a good day at the plate for Girard. He went 2 for 4 with 3 RBI and a run scored, so he was the big bat in the lineup. He had 3 of the 5 team RBIs for Girard. He also scored a run. Girard drew 4 walks as a team, so they also had a good eye at the plate. Their final line was 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors. So a good defensive day for Girard as well. So they get the win over South Range. Waterloo falls to Southeast 10-0 at home. A tough one for Waterloo to swallow outside of the conference, but they still have a good foothold to make a run inside that MVAC Scarlet tier. Canfield falls to Ursuline 7-4. I want to talk about this game too because it's a big statement win for Ursuline against a Canfield team that was really playing very good baseball of late. And when we look at the box score of this one, Ursuline had a big day getting to Canfield pitching, which a lot of teams have struggled to do, especially in the last week and a half or so. But the other thing that helped Ursuline out, only 4 of their 7 runs were RBIs. 2 critical Canfield errors really hurt the Cardinals. Big day at the plate, though, for CJ Flasco. He went 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. He knocked in a pair. The other RBIs that Ursuline got were actually from walks, RBI walks, because Landon Kolar, he walked twice with an RBI, didn't get a hit in the game, but did score a pair of runs on his 2 walks, and then an RBI walk from Ballag, who went 0 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. So a couple of good eyes at the plate. Overall, Ursuline walked 10 times, 10 walks and 2 errors. Those are going to come back to haunt you if you're Canfield. Anthony Treveri pitched well for Ursuline. He went 6 2/3. Gave up just 2 earned runs on 9 hits, struck out 4, walked 2. Ursuline only walked 3 compared to Canfield's 10. So that's that's how you win baseball games. You get on base, obviously, and then you have situational hitting, and Ursuline did a really good job of that. They only had 5 hits on the day, but they definitely made the most of everyone they got. And then they also got on base a lot. 10 walks will do that. So a big win for Ursuline as they move forward with a lot of momentum into the weekend. Latonia able to beat Cheney on the baseball side of things, 14-4, the final score there. You scroll over to the other side of the last line in baseball, and we see that Maplewood was able to beat Grand Valley 3-1, the final score there. Louisville gets the win, shutout over the Tornadoes, 5-0. They continue to put together something special in Louisville. And then a 6-4 win for West Branch over Minerva. So now we go into softball, and we start off with, the game that was going to be one of the more highly anticipated games of the night. Fitch going into Louisville. Louisville ranked 8th in the state, undefeated, but man, Sydney Watts brought her absolute best in this game. It is a perfect game for Sydney Watts against an undefeated 8th in the state team. Let's look at her line, right? Let's look at it. No errors for Austin Town Fitch, obviously no hits. Sydney Watts threw 7 innings, struck out 12, And she did all of this in just 72 pitches. That is just barely over 10 pitches an inning. That is efficiency at its absolute finest point. And this is not an easy offense to go out there and no hit. I mean, this is not like she's playing someone that's way below her level. You have a Division I Power 5 hitter in the lineup. You have Maddie Benson. You have Kenzie Denzer to deal with. You have Brooke Heron to deal with. No one could figure out Cindy Watts. In fact, Maddie Benson struck out 3 times, and Brooke Heron did not strike out at all. So she had a good job putting the ball in play, which is what you want to do. But that's just an excellent performance from Sydney Watts. And we were reminded, if anyone forgot, why she's one of the best, not just in the state, but in the country, with that just incredible performance. Perfect game. And who she did it against was even more brilliant, doing it against an eighth ranked team in the state and undefeated Louisville. Now, Louisville has to bounce back, right? They have a lot to still play for. Obviously, they're independent, so they're looking for anything that gets them ready for the tournament. Maybe they'll see Austintown Fitch again. Who knows how that Division I bracket and district will kind of shake out. But they have Glen Oak tonight, so they have to be ready tonight. And then Saturday, they play St. V's and Alliance in a doubleheader. So they have 3 games in the next 2 days. There's no time for Louisville to lick their wounds at all. They have to get right back to it today and tomorrow with 3 games in 2 days. So Louisville looking to get back with some momentum, and we'll see if they're able to do that tonight against Glen Oak. Another perfect game happened last night, and we said at the top of the lineup, it is the player profile that will be featured today. Gabby Gradishar throws a perfect game against Garrettsville Garfield. She got really close last year. I did this game in Garfield. There must be some mojo down there in Garrettsville for her. Threw a no-hitter and was 1 error away from a perfect game, where her defense just made 1 error on the day. And this year, maybe she remembered that. I don't know, because she went into Garfield this year, and she did the same thing, and her defense backed her up completely this time around. Let's look at Gabby Gradishar's final line in this 17-0 victory over Garfield. I'm sorry. 5 innings because it was a run rule. She didn't give any hits, no walks, obviously, 10 strikeouts, and she did it in 52 pitches. So Sydney Watts does 7 in 72, and Gabby Gradishar does 5 in 52. That's pretty like right cut and dry. If you're trying to say what performance was better in the circle, as far as efficiency goes, right down the line. 52, 72, 52 and 5, 72 and 7. These 2 pitchers are incredible. I can't wait till they play each other later on this season. But then if that wasn't good enough, if that wasn't enough for you, if a perfect game, 10 strikeouts and 52 pitches, if that wasn't impressive enough for you for some reason, Gabby Gradishar also went 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored, and a walk, and hit 2 home runs. 2 home runs. 2 of 4 home runs hit by the champion offense as Haley Householder and Sam Strock also went yard for champion as well. So if the perfect game's not enough for you, if you're more of an offensive person, she also hit 2 bombs and knocked in 4 RBI. Knocked in 3 RBI, scored 4 runs. So that, that's all. That's just a normal day at the plate. I think we're getting a little bit complacent because we're just like, oh, Gabby Gradishar, she just threw another perfect game. Shocker. Want to also give a shout out to Austintown Fitch's offense, by the way, when we go back to that game. Forgot to shout out that they had home runs out the wazoo for their offense. Ayla Ray hit a home run. Abby Toth hit a home run. Kylie Folkwine hit a home run. Morgan Roby hit a home run. Sydney Watts hit a home run. So 5 home runs in the day for Austintown Fitch. And both the pitchers that threw a perfect game also hit a home run. Gabby Gradishar with 2 homers. Sydney Watts with 1. So what a day for those 2. And they're 1 and 2 in the scoreboard. That is coincidence, by the way. That we did not plan that they would be that close to each other on the scoreboard. But boom and boom. What a great night for both of them. Let's continue on the scoreboard, though. We go to United. They traveled to Crestview and got a really big fight from the Rebels. I think a lot closer than maybe the outside people expected in this game, but the Eagles come out on top 8-6, the final score in this one. We go to Brookfield. They were able to beat Badger 15-4. Campbell and Mooney, that went into extras. Mooney gets the 16-14 win. Poland was able to beat Girard 17-1, the final score there. LeBray beats Hubbard 3-2, the final score. 17-12. Middle Ridge's offense was all over Cocker. They get the win in the offensive show there. Pymatuning Valley falls to Matthews 3-2. Columbiana played a doubleheader with Lisbon. They won the first game 9-0, won the second game 19-0. So Columbiana wins a pair against Lisbon. Struthers beats Warren JFK 16-4 in that one. We have Hoban. They beat Akron Manchester 18-6 on the softball side of things. That means in the last 2 days, Hoban's offense has scored 31 runs in 2 games. 13 against Ursuline, 18 against Akron Manchester. That's an impressive 2 days at the plate for the Knights. Lakeview was able to sneak by Ursuline 4-3 in a close one. Canfield takes care of Boardman 6-0, the final score. This game was originally scheduled for Saturday, but since Boardman had Maslin Jackson cancel on them to make up a league game, called up Canfield and said, you know what, we have a good weather day. Why wait till Saturday? Let's just get in now. They played at Boardman last night, so that was a game that was kind of a pleasant surprise for that score to pop up as Canfield gets the shutout victory 6-0 on the road in Boardman. A lot of offense in Western Reserve Jackson Milton as Western Reserve scores 21 in their 21-10 victory over the Blue Jays. Warren Harding knocks off Newton Falls 15-5. Lowville gets the best of Springfield 17-7. And then Cheney is able to beat Latonia in a big offensive night for the Cowgirls, 20-0, the final score there. So that does it for our scoreboard for the day. What we're going to do, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the player profile with champions ace Gabby Gratishar featured fresh off of her perfect game last night for the Flashes. So don't go anywhere. That's coming up next on Running Point, brought to you as always by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Right here with a champion softball player profile. I am joined by Gabby Gradishar, the junior standout for champion. Gabby, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thank you.
So one of the things we have to ask, I mean, obviously junior as far as the class goes, but when you talk about on the field, experience on the varsity level here at champion, for all intents and purposes, second year player, you missed your freshman year, you come out last year as your first year with champion. What's it been like so far this year, having a year under your belt now and to be able to lean on that experience and not feel like you're thrown into the shark infested waters like you were last year in the first year?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better having confidence on the mound and just having a year experience and just knowing like it's almost the same team. I mean, only losing 3 last year is pretty good, but I'm just still playing my game and, just having fun with it.
Still early in the season, how much have you seen yourself leaning on things that happened to you last year, or leaning experiences last year and saying, I've been through this before, or I've seen this before, have I done this before? How much have you leaned on last year so far this year?
Making it pretty far last year has really helped. I mean, just having the experience and really like getting to know my team and, having them behind me has really helped, and just keeping it rolling from last year has helped too.
You talk about last year, you guys get all the way to the regional finals, one step away from the state semis. You fall in that game, but how hungry has that made you going into this year, wanting to make sure you guys can get back to that point and maybe, if you're lucky, get a win in that game and go to state?
Everybody says like losing is the best thing to happen. I know everybody didn't want to lose that game, and neither did I, but I think that was really best for us because it made us feel like the anger and the hunger of wanting to get back there this year and, hopefully win it this year too.
If you get into that position again, what lessons do you think that run in that game taught you about, what it takes that you're going to take into that game if you are lucky enough to get there to put yourself in a position to win this time?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that working together as a team is definitely beneficial. I mean, we have to have that chemistry and really work together to get there.
Talk about chemistry with your teammates. You have Addie Warzela, who's a junior as well, been catching you since you stepped on board at champion. And, we just talked to her a couple of minutes ago, and she talked about how she's calling your pitches now. And talk about the relationship it's been like to build with your catcher and to now be, kind of working together out there on the field when you're pitching.
I couldn't ask for anyone better. She's been my best friend and catcher for as long as I can remember. And just having her there, knowing that she's there for me and for the team is just amazing.
You've always been close, but now this year that she's calling your own pitches, have you felt the chemistry get even stronger between you two, especially on the field?
I have. It's almost like a mind connection that we have. I'm thinking of the next pitch and she's right there with me.
So when we asked her about it, she said that obviously you have the veto right. And I said, there's probably not a lot of times that you have to shake off Addie Warzela, but in those times when you have to discuss stuff, or maybe you have a meeting in the circle or something like that, What's it like to have someone that you know so well to talk it through with and to be like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. What are you seeing?
It's great. I mean, sometimes we'll have a disagreement, but once we talk it out, it's like we're on the same wavelength, and it really just works out having her there.
Now that you're an upperclassman and the responsibilities go up a tick, right? So you're asked to be a little bit more when in regards to as a teammate, regards to as what you mean to this team leadership wise. What has it been like for you to kind of put a little bit more responsibilities on your shoulder now that you're getting closer and closer to senior year?
It's really helped my leadership skills. Just knowing that we have a lot of freshmen and underclassmen has really helped me get out there and really help them learn the game and get that experience too.
When you have a senior class like you do this year, obviously Bella Meyer going to play D1 after she graduates, and I know Mia Dowd, who is a great athlete on the soccer field and a leader, has joined the team this year. What's it mean to be able to take as much from that senior class as you can? So next year, you know exactly what it takes to be a good senior leader.
Yeah, Mia, we haven't played together in a while, but it's great to have her. She's really stepping in and doing her job, and same with Bella. I mean, just the leadership there, it just really shows, and even for the underclassmen to take that role too.
We haven't had a chance to talk to you since you made that big decision in the summertime about your, future, the shirt that you're wearing right now. Talk about what it meant to make that decision, obviously going to Penn State to continue your career after high school, and how much of a kind of weight off the shoulders it was to be able to make that decision and not have to worry about the recruitment process anymore.
Yeah, I mean, everybody says the recruitment process is really tough and a lot on the mental side, but having it done and over with is really helpful, and it just takes that whole weight off my shoulders.
With what you're able to do on the circle, you have a lot of colleges that you could have chosen from. What was it about Penn State that made you feel like home? What was it about Coach Crawwell and down there in the Nathan Alliance that made you feel like it was a place that you wanted to be?
I love to say it, but when everyone's like, oh, when you step on campus, you're going to know. And I never really believed that until I stepped on Penn State, and I just loved it. I love the campus. I love the coach, the atmosphere. It's all there.
Was there a moment on campus when you stepped on it that it locked in, like, okay, this is where I want to be? Was it someone you met or maybe a moment with the team or something like that where you just felt like this is home, this is where I want to be?
Yeah, I would say we got to hang out with the team, and it was just everybody there is for softball, obviously, and just really loves the game and loves being around each other.
And then, talk about what it's been like this year to be able to just focus on champion softball and not have to worry about impressing coaches or what your stats are for, the coaches that you're trying to get, in contact with. Now it's just, hey, how can I go and make champion the best team possible? What's that been like for you this year?
I mean, it's been amazing. You can really step back and just play the game you love and without overthinking everything and just go out there and have fun.
Do you ever take a step back and realize like the area of softball you're in and look at all the players that are committing to colleges around the area on your team, 2 Division I players, and you got Addie going to Slippery Rock, and you got so many players in this area going off to play college, and you get to be, playing with and against them. Does that, you think, make you that much of a better softball player?
I truly do believe that just growing up in this area, I mean, we're known for softball around here, and just playing with all the great competition around has really helped me develop as a player.
What excites you the most about, being able to now call yourself a softball commit and to be able to, have that dream accomplished of playing college softball?
It was always a dream as a young girl watching TV growing up and seeing all these girls on TV, and now it's just like it's almost unbelievable, but very achieving and just great.
So you tell Coach Caldwell, I'm coming, you commit there. Who was the first person that you told that you were committed to Penn State once it happened?
I'd have to say Addie was the first person.
When you had that moment, what was it like to call your catcher and be like, hey, I know where I'm going, and this is going to be my home for the 4 years after high school?
It was unreal. I mean, it felt like I was talking, like making a dream, but just knowing that she was there for me and so excited just made me feel great.
Talking about this year, and we've talked about the team's goals. Obviously, everyone wants to get back to regionals this year. What are some of your individual goals, things that you want to accomplish before the season's over?
I'd have to say becoming more of a leader. That's always been one of my goals, and really just being there for the team and helping each and every one of the players get better.
How much do you see yourself growing as not obviously a statistical leader and a leader in the circle and at the plate, but a emotional leader of this team and a vocal leader of this team? How much have you seen yourself grow in that aspect?
A tremendous amount. Even from freshman year when I was hurt, really helped me get out there and get out of my shell a little bit because I'm a little bit of on the quieter side. But really getting out there and be able to cheer for my teammates has really helped.
I brought up on the plate. We have to talk about your offense because it does not slump at all. You had the most home runs of anyone in the YSN family last year. What's it like to switch on and off, go from pitcher to hitter, and to be able to put on the helmet when you have to and to be in hitter mode, and then obviously go out in the field and be in pitcher mode when you have to do that too?
You know, a lot of people say it's a lot, and I get that. But for me, it's kind of like they work together. When I'm not pitching well, it's like, okay, I can go out and hit and, recover from that in the same way, opposite way. And it's really just helped me, like, as a hitter pitching too. Like, okay, what would she throw me on this pitch? And then the same thing for pitching as well.
How much of do you kind of scout yourself a little bit and say, here's where when you're working on your swing, here's how pitchers would attack me. Here's how I would attack myself, and then use that to, make your adjustments.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. I mean, it helps me so much as a pitcher as well, because I know there's a lot of hitters like me as well, and just really going at them as I would go as myself.
Might be a lot of hitters close to you, but not a lot of hitters like you. I promise you that. When you think about, being able to do all the things that you've been able to do on the softball field, let's talk about your support system, your role models, the people you look for in your life that have helped you and guided you there. Who are some people that come to mind when you think of people along this journey that you really wouldn't be able to be here without?
Yeah, I'd have to say my parents, first of all. I mean, they have supported me all the way through, from hours at the fields and hours traveling everywhere to go play. And then along with my travel coaches, have really pushed me to be the best player I am, really.
We got to talk about some deeper family ties because, some different Bronco fans might know your last name. And obviously there was a big Hall of Fame announcement a couple of months ago. What's it like to be a part of this family and to have that moment for your family and for the people that obviously that you come from?
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor. I mean, carrying on the tradition of going to college to play sport is really just keep doing me.
Do you ever get random people that know your last name ask you hey, are you related to this person or do you know, and stuff like that, and you get to kind of realize how much of an impact your family name has?
Yeah, I have people ask me that a lot, and it's really cool because it's like people I don't even know, they know him, and then it's just crazy.
One of the things that Champion Softball is so good at when we're talking about legacy is obviously building up from the youth and wanting the young players to want to come up and be what the varsity is now. What are some of your favorite things about working with the youth of Champion and to build those players up so that when you're gone, the Champion Softball program continues putting out this great talent and putting out these winning softball teams?
Yeah, so this year we actually had our second annual youth camp, and I just love that because seeing all these young girls with the same love of the sport that I had growing up, it's just really, I love it, helping them and, letting them know that it's a reality and it can happen and just put the work in.
Because of the success you're having, there are a lot of girls that look at you as saying, I want to be like Abby Gradisher. I want to be where she's at when I grow up. What's that like for you to realize that that you're a role model and that people want to be like you when they grow up?
It's amazing. I mean, really watching each and every step, I got to make sure, doing the right things and knowing that all these young girls are watching me and are inspiring to be like me is just really showing them that it's possible, it can happen.
Who were some of your role models in the softball world when you were growing up, people that you wanted to be like when you grew up?
I had to say Jenny Fitch. I loved her growing up. Ever since I wanted to be a pitcher, I always followed her.
Shocker. I think that's probably every pitcher's answer at some point in their life. Have you had the chance to meet Jenny?
I have not.
Okay. Well, if you had the chance to kind of pick her brain and ask her some questions, What would you want to ask her? What would you want to know about her journey and the things that she's gone through?
I would probably have to ask her like what were her major setbacks and how'd she like recover from them, and just a whole lot about the mental side, because we all know that softball is 90% mental and 10% talent.
When we talk about your adversity that you've faced more than most already in your career. What were some things that you did to get through it? When someone asks you for that advice, hey, I'm going through something, how do you get through it? What did you do? What were some of your techniques to get through the mental and physical adversity that you've already faced?
Personally experience with my knee, I would always tell myself like small goals, set small goals and go towards those rather than in the long run, because that really helps it, keeping it like pushing forward and not looking like, okay, I'm going to be out for 9 months. Like, this is awful. But rather than, okay, I'm starting running next week, and just small things like that.
All right, we can't let you go without having some fun with this interview. We asked Addie Warzela this, so we have to keep it fair and ask you it too. What are some of your softball icks? It's kind of a trend on TikTok right now. Some things that when you see them on the softball field, they make you cringe.
I'd have to say when people wear the visors like not over their ears, that it just doesn't sit right with me.
What would your walk-up song be? Like, if you have a walk-up song, what do you want it to be?
I would probably say Put On is a pretty good one.
Do you think, since you hit well and you pitch well, do you have different, if you had a walkout song, would it be different? Do you want a different mindset when you're pitching, or do you think it'd be the same for both?
I'd have to say it would be the same. Keep the same mindset, just going 100% all the time.
All right, so it's a big win. How are you celebrating? What are some of the favorite things to do to celebrate a big win for you?
So we have a funny thing is we have this local Mexican restaurant in our town, and after big games we always go there. Big group of us.
All right, so you hit a lot of home runs and you strike a lot of people out. So we have to ask, what's the best feeling? Is it a big strikeout or a big home run?
I'd have to say a big home run. Nothing beats that feeling.
When you get to cross that third base and you see your team all at home plate, can you put into words what that feels like, especially if it's like a go-ahead home run or a walk-off home run or a home run in a really big moment?
Yeah, you really can't describe that feeling until you're actually feeling it, but it's amazing, having that whole team sitting there cheering for you, knowing that they have your back as well as you do theirs. It's just amazing.
We also do want to ask you about Coach Weaver real quick, because obviously she's a brand new Hall of Famer and she got her 500th career win earlier this year, and you were able to be a part of that. What was it like to put yourself as a part of her journey and to say that you were able to get her that milestone and to now call her a Hall of Fame coach? What's it been like?
It's an honor being able to play under her. I've said multiple times, but she is just an amazing person. Just, you can't beat her. She's there all the time, putting her work in as well as we are. And she just loves the game as much as she loves us.
This is going to be hard because I'm sure she's taught you a lot and given you a lot of great softball knowledge. But if you had to pick maybe one aspect of your game that you think has grown the most because of your being coached by Coach Weaver, what do you think it'd be?
I'd have to say the mental part. She really helped me through my freshman year, getting through that and just really telling me to keep my composure throughout everything that goes on in the game.
All right, Gabby, before we let you go, as always with the player profiles, we want to give you the chance to thank the people that are in your life, your support system, and the people that you think deserve the limelight a little bit in this interview.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank God, because without him, nothing's possible. And just my parents, my family, and my friends just really support me.
All right, Gabby, we want to thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck the rest of your junior season, and we know we'll be out there seeing you real soon.
Thank you.
And that was Gabby Gratishar from Champion, one of two pitchers in the Ysn family that threw a perfect game last night. Her and Cindy Watts, if you're joining us and you missed the top of the show, we went over the scoreboard, talked about both those games in length, and really both those games perfect. And we've said it before. I think I said it was Scotty a couple of weeks ago when we had a perfect game go down from was it Yeah, I think it was Isabella O'Brien threw one earlier in the season from McDonald, and we were talking about how, perfect games, when you say that, and obviously the pitcher's the one that gets the headline, but perfect game, I mean, if you don't know, I don't know if you've never watched baseball or softball before, but perfect game also means that the defense was perfect. Like, everyone has to do their part in a perfect game. So when you have two teams that throw perfect games, I mean, obviously the pitchers get the love, and they both had double-digit strikeouts, and they both were super efficient with their pitches, only using just a smidge over 10 pitches per inning in both those games. They both didn't strike out everybody, and unless a pitcher strikes out every single out recorded in a perfect game, it's really Fitch and Champion threw perfect games. Even though Gradishar and Watts are going to get that on their name and say they threw a perfect game, your defense has to back you up. And like I said before, we talked about the Champion game last year. They went to Garfield, same spot. She threw a no-hitter, and there was one error on the defense, just one. It was a big win. They run ruled them. Everything went well, but just that one error, and the perfect game's gone. Even though she threw a no-hitter, struck out double digits, did everything she could do, one error takes out that whole perfect game shine. And that's all it takes is one little mistake by a defense, and both those teams were very clean on defense. And with pitchers like that, you're even a little bit more impressed because they strike out so many hitters. Sometimes defenses in those situations in other teams, other programs, can get a little bit rusty last days of goal. So when a ball's hit to them, a ball. But Fitch and Champion both have excellent defenders. They both have Division I players in the infield with Ayla Ray at short, I should say. They're both at short. Ayla Ray and Bella Meyer both going to YSU, both at shortstop for both those teams, leading the infield. They're great teams, and I think the last word on that for Gradishar and Watts last night is that to remind everybody that perfect games should go to the team. It's Champion and Fitch. Throw perfect games. So with that being said, I want to take the light. We signed it on yesterday's games, which were awesome. We had a great weather day, and I was really impressed that we got most of those games in where they were supposed to be played, because obviously we had the storms on Wednesday. So a lot of these fields were wet but playable, and I think that's a testament to all the people that were working on the fields, whether it be the coaching staffs. We saw parents out there helping in some places, field crews, field managers, whatever it may be. Whoever was working on these fields did a really good job. They weren't going to get all the water out. That's impossible. But they absolutely did a good job of making sure that it was playable. And none of the games got canceled because of field conditions last night. Everything was able to go where it was supposed to. So a great day for softball today. Cloudy. There's no. I'm going to look at Storm Tracker 21. I want to be sure I'm saying this correctly. Storm Tracker 21 shows no chance of rain tonight, just cloudy. A little bit cooler than the rest of the week. The first pitch temperature tonight for most of these games, 5 o'clock, is going to be 61, according to Storm Tracker 21. So still nice. I would take 61 over these 40-degree weather games that we got in the first couple of weeks of the season, but a little cooler than earlier in the week. So I would say maybe a jacket weather tonight and tomorrow if you're going out to a softball game. So, but no rain, which is what we always love. No rain in the forecast, just clouds, according to our good friends that take care of the weather issues. I am no meteorologist. I just look at Storm Tracker 21. You should too when you're trying to follow the weather during softball season. So no rain in the forecast tonight or really tomorrow. We have a lot of games tomorrow too. Just cloudy and cool. Tomorrow even cooler. The high is only 51 tomorrow. So if you're going out to softball or baseball tomorrow, again, make sure you bundle up because the high will barely get above 50. So especially these morning games that we're talking about tomorrow. I mean, for example, tomorrow at 11 a.m., which is when most of these games start, it's going to be below 50. It's going to be 49. So that is kind of cold, and no sun makes it even colder. So make sure you're bundled up and ready for a little bit of a cooler Saturday. We get in the next week, though. Storm Tracker 21 says that we are going to have a little bit more warmth, sunny and 57 on Monday, and then getting warmer and warmer as the week goes on. So we should be, having pretty good weather for the next several days. And the weather will be good because we have games to get to. Let's go to the scoreboard. Back to the scoreboard. Brought to you by Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs. Bring it up on the full screen for you here. We'll go from last night into tonight and see what games are going to be happening. Not just tonight, but also we'll show you tomorrow's games too, since we won't be with you again until Monday. So here we go. Baseball. It's the rivalry. It's blue versus red. East Liverpool Beaver Local squaring off tonight. Ursuline and Heartland Christian doing battle again. They played each other earlier in the week. This time it will be a Ursuline home game. Ursuline won the first matchup 14-2 on Wednesday. Salem plays Jackson Milton tonight. That game, we just got word from Derek Rhodes, I believe, has been canceled. So no Salem Jackson Milton tonight. Niles will play Lakeview in any 8 action. We have West Branch traveling to Fitch. Columbiana will be traveling to Crestview to play a very highly anticipated game between two teams that honestly haven't played each other in a long time in Columbiana County. They are really excited about this matchup tonight between Columbiana and Crestview because these are old school rivals that that don't get the chance to play each other too often. So they're excited. I think everyone's excited about tonight's matchup between Columbiana and Crestview. In fact, they're calling it the game for the decade. The first of its kind in 2020 is the first since 2017 OHSA tournament. And you probably have to go back even further for the last time these two teams played in the regular season between Columbiana and Crestview. They are gassing it up. They are getting ready for it. It's going to be a heck of a game at Eastwood Field tonight in Niles. $5 for students, $7 for adults to get in. Everyone's stoked about this game, and they're obviously getting a real big stage to play it on too, with the home of the Scrappers, Eastwood Field, opening their doors for Crestview and Columbiana. So that's going to be a big one. As we move on to the scoreboard, Lordstown goes to Wyndham tonight. Jefferson travels to old school NE8 rival Struthers. Campbell Memorial goes to Lowville tonight. Waterloo hosting Chippewa. We have Southern Local. They will be hosting Conotton Valley. And then Garfield hosting Rootstown. We have Warren Harding traveling east. Girard going to Poland. And Louisville will try to keep their momentum going after last night's shutout victory as they travel to Greene in the Federal League for another matchup with a Federal League team. Louisville's schedule is full of those on both sides, baseball and softball. We go into the softball arena, and there are a lot of games being played at McCoon Park tonight and tomorrow as part of the Joanne Kernan Classic. We are going to go over the games that are happening there first, and then we'll go over the rest of the games. So here's the games that are happening at McCoon Park, and also what field to look for while you're there. Friday night, which is tonight, Hoban and West Branch. That'll be on Field 2 at McCoon Park. Field 2 for Hoban West Branch. Columbiana and Ursuline are going to be playing each other on Field 3. And then Canfield and Lakeview are going to be playing each other on Field 7 tonight. We also have Mooney and Geneva playing tonight at 5. That will be on Field 9. There are also JV games at McCoon. Going to shout them out real quick. West Branch JV playing against Geneva on Field 8. And Canfield JV will play against Hoban on Field 10 tonight. Then tomorrow at 11 a.m., this is when the McCoon Park games start. Tomorrow, Lakeview and Columbiana are going to play each other on Field 2. We have West Branch and McDowell playing on Field 9 at 11. And St. Joe's versus Geneva, not Ysn Schools, but are part of the tournament. They'll be playing on Field 3. At 1 o'clock, we have Ursuline versus Geneva on Field 1. Columbiana versus West Branch on Field 2. Canfield versus McDowell on Field 7. And on Field 9, we have Lakeview versus Eastlake North. And then Field 7 at 3 o'clock, Boardman will play Eastlake North for varsity. Here are the JV games that are happening on Saturday as well at 11 a.m. JV is for West Branch and Geneva, JV for Canfield, both playing on field 8 and 10 respectively. At 1 o'clock, they'll have a JV game between West Branch and Canfield and Geneva and Eastlake North. And then at 3 o'clock, they'll have a JV game between Eastlake North and Canfield. So a busy day at McCoon Park tomorrow for the Joanne Kernan Classic. They've been having that for a while at McCoon Park. It's a great opportunity to not just go watch some softball, but also support a great cause as they raise money for breast cancer awareness. And you might see a lot of these teams in pink tomorrow as well. Tomorrow and today, as that is a 2-day tournament at McCoon Park. Good weather for it, too. I mean, colder than I guess you'd want, but no rain, which is always fun. Once again, West Branch and home, and those are all McCoon. Mohawk playing Central Valley. We have Beaver Area getting back on the diamond tonight. They are going to play Hampton. We have Wyndham hosting Lordstown. Orange is going to be in the Lion's Den hosting Our Lady of the Elms. Brookfield travels to Girard. We have United hosting East Liverpool. Howland makes the trip down to Jefferson. We have Liberty at Waterloo tonight. In an inter-MVAC conference matchup. East Palestine will go to Lisbon. Newton Falls will host Niles. Springfield goes to Struthers. And then Boardman is going to be playing Hoover at home as well. That should be a fun one for the Spartans to test themselves against one of the best in Division 1. Let's go into tomorrow real quick and tell you the games that are happening tomorrow as well. Outside of those ones that we just said are happening in McCoon Park. Baseball, we have a full slate. Mooney and JFK squaring off. Columbiana will be traveling to East Liverpool. Ursuline will be hosting Padua Franciscan. Garfield goes to Springfield. Brookfield goes to LeBray tomorrow. Pymatuning Valley travels to Conneaut. Chalker at Sebring. Beaver Local at Struthers. Geneva at Ashtabula St. John. Lowville at Middle Ridge. Beaver Area Baseball hosting McGuffey. West Branch will be hosting Twinsburg. We have McDonald traveling to Waterloo. Lakeside hosting Grand Valley. Girard traveling to Salem. Harvey will be at Conneaut. Carrollton will be at Springfield. Latonia at Lisbon. Chalker at Sebring. And then East will be at Newton Falls tonight as well. We go to softball tomorrow as Western Reserve going to be hosting Jefferson County Christian. Lordstown will be at Newton Falls. We have Weirton Madonna going to be at Wellsville. Chalker at Sebring. Canfield and Boardman, which was originally scheduled for tomorrow. That game obviously being played last night, so that one will be taken off of our scoreboard when it's updated. Lakeview will be playing Columbiana. That'll be at McCoon. West Branch will be at McCoon against McDowell. Pymatuning Valley travels to Jefferson. Howland will be playing at home against Solon. That's going to be a triple header at Howland as well. So Howland will play again against LeBray, and then LeBray will play Solon as well. That is a Tony Ross Invitational at Howland Township Park. Springfield travels to Middle Ridge tomorrow. Orange has their second game in a row against Chagrin Falls. Beaver Local will host Union Local. Brookfield will be hosting Warren Harding. Fitch will be hosting Brunswick, which I think that game happened earlier too. Yeah, that's a final. That's a know how that was a final score that came in on Tuesday. So don't know how that glitched in the system, how that one got into this scoreboard. But West Branch Columbiana will play each other. Eastlake North and Lakeview. Canfield and McDowell, of course. Western Reserve has their doubleheader with Jefferson County Christian. Wellsville will play the doubleheader with Madonna. Sebring and Chalker. Ursuline and Geneva at McCoon. Cardinal Mooney plays VASJ at McCoon as well. Beaver Local and Union Local having their doubleheader. Salem will be hosting East Palestine. Cheney will be traveling to Crestview. Louisville hosts Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary. So that is all that's happening today and tomorrow in softball and baseball. It's going to be a fun weekend When we come back Monday, we'll have a lot to talk about, a lot of games to talk about on Monday on Running Point. So enjoy your weekend, everybody. That's going to do it for today's episode. Want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Want to also give a shout out and a thank you to Gabby Gradishar for her time in that interview. It was a great one indeed. If you missed it in its entirety, it can be found on ysnlive.com and also our YouTube page. So make sure to go check that out. And let's have a fun weekend. Let's bundle up a little bit, get out there, and have some fun baseball and softball. Live games can be found at ysnlive.com/live. Make sure to check them out, and we will see you all on Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Running Point brought to you as always by our good friend